No, we are not having the same 24 hours. A man who spends half of his time in the gym and another half building his empire is not having the same 24 hours as a mother of two, juggling motherhood and her dream, her career. A man who's running with the same hormone since 1990 is not having the same 24 hours as a woman who is heavily pregnant or in her postpartum or struggling with intense PMS. Also, a woman in her early 20s, the one who's not in relationship yet, who's not having a family, she is not having the same 24 hours to build her business, build her career, to hustle, compared to a woman who is in relationship, married, and taking care of multiple kids. So it's not that we all have the same 24 hours. And I really, really adore and appreciate every single woman who's not having the same 24 hours and still choosing to build their brand, to build their movement, to follow their dream, their passion, to create something beautiful on this planet. So if you are a woman who's not having the same 24 hours as everybody else, then this video is for you, because here I'm gonna be sharing with you how you can use feminine energetics in order to create your soft and successful dream life without getting masculine, without burning out. My name is Aista Nandi. I am feminine embodiment and leadership mentor, teaching ambitious and conscious women how they can connect with their body, with their beloved, how they can live their soft and successful life that feels as good as it looks, and at the same time build up a conscious community of raving fans. So if this is you, then let's dive in. You know, I get a little bit triggered when mentors or coaches telling me that I STEM. We all have the same 24 hours. Beyoncé, presidents, you name it. So you have to really, really work hard and use every single second of it to build up the movement, to push and force and create like lots of content, and just do lots of things. And and very often these advices, they're coming from a woman who's not a mother herself, or it comes from a man. And I get really, really triggered. Every single time I get triggered when I hear something, I'm not judging, I'm looking within, and I'm trying to find a way how I can do it in a way that would resonate with me, with the season of my life that I am in. Because it's very easy to say what you're telling is bullshit and you are the bad coach and you don't know nothing about motherhood, you don't know nothing about soft living, and you haven't done your research, so it's bad. No, these advices, they can be fabulous, especially if you in your 20s, if you don't have kids, if you don't have any people to take care of, if you're really in the season of your life that you need to build up the identity, build up the movement, and push the things, then of course these raw masculine models, formula, strategies, they are fabulous, they are amazing, they do work. But not for everybody. For me, they do not work. They used to work before I became a mother. Now this simply doesn't work. And I do get triggered. I'm gonna accept I do get triggered when a woman who's not a mother teaching me how I need to deal with my time, how I need to push and force. And I know that I could, and I know lots of women who do that, who following the masculine business models, who is really hustling and being in this boss babe archetype. Of course I could get more help, of course I could get more hours in a day to run my business, but I don't want. I don't want that. I want to be with my children. I want to have plenty of time with my partner. I want to have time with myself. And very often people do try to make me a little bit like guilty for saying this and feel a little bit, delusional. Like you cannot have it all. Aista, you cannot have it all. Either you work hard, every job needs to be about hard work. You need to be a horse. No, I don't. I don't. And I'm gonna scream until the rest of my life that not. If you working in a feminine way, if you're building your business, your movement infused with feminine energetics over formula and strategy, you don't have to push hard. You don't need to work 12 hours per day to build up something beautiful and big and abundant. There are other ways. So, um, so when women coming into my world, I look very, very well at what season of her life she is currently at. If she is, in her 20s, building her brand, her identity, working on her body, maybe she already burned out and now she needs to soften, and heal her sexuality. Maybe she needs to, work on her anxiety, burnout. Okay, what we can implement now? How much time you've got? What kind of things you're doing behind the scenes. So for me, it is very important to understand where she's currently at when we work with embodiment or leadership. And especially if I work with women who's building brand, identity, movement, it is very important to know if she's currently in her motherhood, maybe she's preparing to be a mother, maybe she really sees her becoming a mother in the near future. It means we're going to use completely different business strategy, business model. We're going to infuse those feminine energetics in different ways. We're going to focus on different things, perhaps on building community, building village, right? Like really creating a relationship with her students, with her customers, with her followers, right? Instead of formulas and strategies. So it is really, really important to know at what season of your life you are currently in, and then you can understand how many hours you do have per day and what kind of embodiment and business model you want to use in your life. So yes, I do get triggered, and the reason why I'm recording this video is because I listened to this podcast currently when this person was really, really saying so straightforward, that if you want to build something beautiful, you need to work at least 10 hours per day, and you need to sacrifice your sleep, you need to be ready and willing, sacrifice time with your family, you need to be ready and willing, sacrifice everything. There is the seasons when you don't have nothing a part of your work, and this is how it should be. Bullshit. Not. You know why? Because I've been there and I've done that, and I sacrificed my friendships, I sacrificed my sexual, my romantic life. I was so in my masculine business babe mode that everything around me started crumbling. Relationship with my mother, relationship with my partner, relationship with my own body. My cycle was all over the place. I had very painful periods. I had zero libido. I felt so in my masculine, so tense. Cortisol was so high up. I don't want that. I don't want this again, and I don't want any woman in my world to experience this. And I know that so many of you coming into my world was already struggling from burnout, anxiety, and all of the problems connected with the womb, with reproductive organs. Such as endometriosis, PMS, painful periods, fertility issues, right? So this hustle babe culture, this formula and strategy over feminine energetics creates this kind of results in our lives, and we don't want to say that I am a victim of this world. I work in corporate, or I own my brand. I am breadwinner. I need to make money, so I cannot just be now all soft and feminine and be in the flow and create from the moment. We don't want to be a victim, that's for sure, and we don't want to blame the culture that we are currently in, the business model that got placed on us or our coaches or mentors. We need to take radical responsibility of our lives and start really living the life and creating the movement, the brand, the self-care practice, the one that is really that is designed for us, for our own unique, authentic needs. There will always be a choice. Either you in your victimhood or you in empowered woman place. When I'm in my victimhood, when I started to feel a little bit sorry about myself or different things, maybe lack of village that I created for myself and for my kids, maybe my relationship is not perfect at certain points of my life. Okay, it doesn't work, it's not good. What I can do, what I can change, how I can create, implement new strategy, something new, how I can infuse more magic into it, how I can make it better. So if you feel a little bit of like a victim in the current situation that you are in, relationship, job, money, finances, right? Again, use this anger that you might feel, this sadness, use it as a fuel, as your superpower to make a change. Every single time we create transformation, we create quantum jump. All these powerful transformative experiences, they started with this decision that the way it is, it's not okay. I don't like this. I don't want this to continue. So decision, to decide, it means from Latin language to cut all other possibilities away. You see that we're deciding, we're cutting away. And you need to reach the point. You need to reach the point in your life, and you are either burnout or struggling from anxiety, just as I did, or fertility problems, or you name it, or you feel that you lost your libido, your relationship perhaps is on the edge. You need to reach this point in your life in order to decide, fuck it, I don't want this anymore. I want a different way of living. So if you are in this moment that, oh, I cannot do work like this anymore, I cannot function like this anymore, I'm slowly dying, then now is the time to decide to live your life in a different way. And perhaps the way is more feminine way. Perhaps the way is where we focusing on energetics, on nervous system regulation, on filling your own cup, on asking more help, instead of following this hustle kind of culture model that it's really putting us in our masculine and slowly destroys not only our life, but the lives of people around us too, affecting our kids, affecting our parents, our beloveds. So what we need to do in order to invite more softness, more soft success into our lives, becoming more like soft CEOs, becoming soft entrepreneurs. There are two things that I want to share with you. Of course, I have lots and lots of different things connected to this energetic kind of living, but two things that, in my opinion, are the most important. Number one, asking for help. Asking for help is so important. When we are functioning in our masculine, in this hustle culture, girl boss mode, badass mode, we know that we can do everything by ourselves. We know the best how to do things, and we want to be powerful, independent. So it's really hard to ask for help. It's hard to accept help, but this is a huge piece of the puzzle. So I'm talking about asking for help in your motherhood, building a village. Maybe it's your friends close by that can help you sometimes to take care of your kids or bring some meals if you're in your postpartum, for example. Maybe it's your family members that you can really rely and trust again with your kids, or just ask them to check in with you each week, how you're doing, how you're feeling, how your week has been, so you're not marinating in your feelings alone. So it takes courage to ask for help, but something really beautiful happens when you ask for help for people that you really people that you really love, you crack your heart open. You stop being ice queen, you stop being this cold, independent woman. And vulnerability, it is our superpower, because vulnerability connects people. And this is how you can make so much deeper relationships in your community and with your family members. But asking for help it doesn't mean that, you are my mother, you must help me. No, your mother don't have to do anything for you. It's not that she must take care of your kids. If she does, fabulous, amazing, but it's not her responsibility, it's not her duty. They are your kids. You have to take care of them. So we're not like forcing people to help us, or feeling like bitter and bad if they're not helping us. We asking people from an open heart, and we give something, of course, in return when we are capable, but we're not saying that you must do this and you must do that. So this is when we're talking about friends and family members. But when we're talking about a partner, this is a little bit different angle. It's a little bit different story. Statistics shows that breadwinners, working moms, they still very often spend 13 hours more per week taking care of the house duties, of the cleaning and cooking and doing all of these things. So mom and dad, they both work, but still mother is the one who is doing much more things around the house. So it is really, really important to have these weekly conversations with beloved, with our boyfriends and husbands, and really saying, look, I need help with this and I need help with that. But it has to be done in a conversational, conscious conversation kind of way. Not that when you're already burnt out and exhausted and super tired and you're just like starting to shout with him, and it's just not gonna work. Man's brain doesn't work like this. If you're catching him in the moment and throwing a huge tantrum and really throwing up on him, he's not going to improve, he's not going to help you. Instead, come to him and say, look, we need to talk, I need to share with you something, do you have a moment? Okay, and then you're going to talk with him with a very calm voice, with really open heart, and you're going to explain things. And in my relationship, we notice what works the best is when we have these weekly meetings with Mike, with my partner, and we're just going through the things that did not work that week, the things that needs to be improved in the relationship, with our responsibilities regarding the parenthood and house, etc. And then throughout the other days of the week, we're not bringing these conversations again. So we're only talking on Tuesday evenings about the things that needs to be improved, and other nights we just chill together, watch a movie, drink our cacao, and do other things. So we're not touching these hot topics that always, most of the time, ends up in a very with very heavy energy. Okay, so once a week it's really important to have this kind of meetings. So speaking clearly your needs, asking for help, it is your birthright, and really delegating tasks, it is your is going to improve so much your feminine energy and your life. And little tip from my family to yours, or from my relationship to your relationship, what helped us so much is having these Friday date nights with my partner. But before, I used to plan the date nights because I'm a planner. I know all the things that are happening here on the island, and I know about the best concerts and best restaurants. I like this kind of things. And by my own mentor, by my own coach, I've got influenced to create like a day jar. So we have one big jar, and my partner, he needs to find cute restaurants or cute activities, workshops that we can do on Friday nights, and he puts all these ideas in the jar, and then he just pulls one idea and he says, look, you need to dress up Friday night, 7 p.m. You dress up, Nanny's coming, she's already organized. We're gonna go to have a sushi, and then later we're gonna go to cinema, and afterwards we'll come back, you'll have a nice bath, the sheets, I'll change the sheets, and you can just relax and take it easy, Another day, maybe Saturday, again, he got influenced to do the same, but not about the date nights, but like saying, okay, Saturday, I was thinking what we could do is to go for a nice walk to the beach with our son, then later we're gonna go to the park, I will watch our son, you can read a book, when we come back home we will order some pizzas and we can just chill and watch family movie. And I just, when he tells these things, I just feel like, oh, my body is softening, and because I don't need to plan the things, I don't need to think about the things, I don't need to organize, I just feel that my body is gently dripping and dropping into the feminine, the most beautiful place I can marinate for ages and ages and ages. So you see, we need to, if you also desire to soften, to drop into your feminine design, your feminine essence, and you're currently in a relationship, it is really, really important to kind of train our partner to allow him to step into his masculine, into his leader role, into his planner, organizer role. It's but again, without complaining, without being bitchy, without being needy, because it's not gonna work if you're gonna ask in this way. You know, sit, open your heart with a glass of wine or cacao or another drink and just say, look, let's try this, you know, I think that this date chart could be cool, or I thought that if you would plan our Saturdays or Sundays, that would be so nice for me, because I'm always planning, and that would really help me to drop in my feminine. And the more you'll drop in your feminine, the more he will drop in his masculine, right? So asking for help is a very, very big piece of the puzzle. And when you're not having the same 24 hours and you are in your hustling mode and you're juggling so many things, and you really need to implement a powerful practice which can help you to live your soft and successful life and really use the best out of the time that you've got. The second suggestion, also very, very important one, is to become crystal clear of the things that you like and dislike doing. So there are so many things that we mothers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, we're doing simply because we have to do them. And again, it's not easy for most of us to ask for help. So here the invitation comes to ask first to clarify the things that you like doing and not like and you dislike. For example, I love cooking, so I would never like anybody to come and cook for me. I do have house cleaner, housekeeper. She comes 3 times per week right now because I'm heavily pregnant and it's hard to move and do things. So she is cleaning the house, she's doing the laundry. I hate ironing. This is the thing that I hate the most, and I don't understand how on earth anybody can love ironing. Just constantly worrying to burn the material or your hands, and water is all over, and you're doing this so many times and the wrinkle's still there. So ironing is really not for me. So I love delegating this to our housekeeper, and yeah, and she's doing lots of things in the garden also. I love having my, I love not only cooking, but I also love having my herbal garden. So I'm taking care of my herbal gardens, my flowers, but then there's this huge trees that needs also some care and love. And I need to have gardener to do these things, because my husband, he's not very much connected to the trees and plants. So he hates doing that, you know, it's just not his thing. So I need to ask someone else to do these things, or he needs to ask, right? So for us, it was very clear in our relationship to really understand what we like doing and what we dislike doing, what fills our cup and what really drains us. And then stepping into the queen archetype and king archetype and asking for help, pay people fair price for doing the thing and really helping us to focus, to have more time and focus on our projects, on our brands, on our movements, on our relationship and family. I'm not saying that for me it was easy to ask for help at the beginning, because I know the best how to clean my house and take care of my closet, even though I hate ironing and doing all these things, but I know the best, right? And with the cleaning the same, you know, with the gardening the same. But once I accepted help, I just felt how I'm really softening into my feminine. And you might say that, but good for you, you have the money to ask for help. Look, it's really not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. So we have to get creative with these things. You know, we have to get creative with these things. If you can pay a lot, that's fabulous, that's amazing, you know. So to treat people who work for you in the best way possible, this is always the way. But I'm sure that you can ask your friends to help you out, your family members. You can ask, I don't know, some teenager kids from your family that you really trust to take care of your child, right? You don't have to have a super nanny who finished like all the Montessori and Waldorf curriculums, you know. Like let's look for a way, not for an excuse, you know. Let's get creative. And there was a time when I had very, very little money, and I could still figure out, find people who could help me out with very little exchange, or maybe not even the money exchange, you know. Maybe we could find other kind of exchanges with my friends to help me out with certain things. Not only the household things, also my business. At the beginning, you know, there were women making like a PDF books for me, you know, for my courses, and I would invite them to join my trainings in exchange. I had so many different kind of exchanges in my life that really helped my life so much. And I wouldn't like lose extra time or extra energy giving what they need in return. So we really need to get creative. We need to ask for help. We need to call in collaboration, co-creation in our households and in our business in order to live soft and successful life, in order to use this not the same 24 hours as everybody else in the best way possible. So if you a mother, solo mother, super busy woman, if you have limited time available to be feminine, to fill your cup, make sure that you follow these two rules. Make sure that you ask for help, okay, from your partner, from the people around you. You hire some help, find a way. There's always a way. And make sure that you are crystal clear what you like doing and what you dislike doing. So you're really stepping in your power and embodying the dream version of you, not someone else's dream version. You're really becoming her, the most authentic version of you. If you love cooking, continue cooking. If you love baking sourdough bread once a week, do that. If you love gardening, do that. If you hate those things, ask someone to help you out. Ask for help. And the final, I think the most important piece of the puzzle, if you are a busy woman, if you, again, having this limited time available, and you don't want to be stuck in this hustle babe culture and burnout and be all tensed and anxious and depressive, you need to fill your cup every damn day. You need to fill your cup. You need to have practice that makes you feel juicy, alive, feminine. Maybe it's a lineal movement, maybe it's journaling, cacao, somatic movement. There are so many practices nowadays available, but you need to have this morning or evening ritual, even if it's 5 minutes, checking with your body and really filling your cup, doing this one thing that maybe doesn't make sense for your brain much, but it actually feels so good. If you need inspiration with this kind of practices, in my Embody Her course, I'm sharing 33 feminine embodiment practices that you can go through and stick with the ones that really makes you so alive and bubbly and juicy and feminine. Because the way you feel in your body, your healed nervous system, your activated archetypes, your traumas that you released, all of these things gonna bring you so much more abundance into your life, healthier relationships, because you're gonna become, we attract who we are a mirror. So the more you're gonna work on yourself, on all these things, you're gonna attract different level men, different level clients, different level money. You're gonna be able to hold it all. So either you choose practices and stick with the practices that you already know. Remember that consistency is the key. It's nice to go to a yoga retreat once a year, but what is more powerful is doing these mini practices each day, filling the cup and really embodying her, coming closer and closer to her, the most authentic version of you, the soft and successful you. Each day, 1% becoming closer and closer to her. This is what creates the most powerful changes in our lives. So again, if you need inspiration, Embody Her course is for you. A 6-month feminine embodiment course, which I created for 9 months. So when I knew that I'm pregnant, I started creating the course, and soon I'm gonna give birth, and the course is also ready to be enjoyed. So it's a very, very special course for me, and it's very deep. It includes the pre-recorded lessons, it includes the community support, and group coaching too. So you have access to me, you have access to the group and to the training platform. If you have any questions, send me an email and we can jump on discovery call, and we can see if this is the right investment for you. So this is what I wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you got inspired, and speak to you soon. Much love, much health, much wealth.